What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Brutal Planet Comics. I'm your host, Dre the Brute Daniels, and welcome to an episode of the Indie Corner, where I sit down with everybody from the independence community, writers, artists, directors, producers. Doesn't matter if you're in the game, I want to talk to you. So today we have ourselves a fine guest. She is the writer of FANGS&FOUL Play. Can't wait to jump into that. Give it up, everybody, for L.K. INGINO.
Hey, Andre, how's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, my friend?
Good. I feel like I need to walk in with some applause in front of the curtain after that, you know?
Yes. Give you a little Hollywood entrance there.
Mm-hmm.
But before we even get started, first of all, I want to thank you for coming on, buying out the time. We know you are burning the candle at both ends, all the fine work you're doing. And I must say, I love the blue lipstick.
Oh.
It pops. it reminds me of what was that, like blueberry sherbet?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Like after you have a candy or something and just kind of
yeah,
sticks around.
Exactly. It's
not
awesome.
as evenly applied.
And you got the hair to match. I'm with it. I like it. So before we jump into all this great work that you're doing, Leanne, let's get a little background on you. Who you are, where you're from, how did we get here?
How did we get here? Well, it started with that'd be a long, boring story. So I'm a writer, poet, and I am a singer, but not professionally. So, I can say it, but hopefully one day, maybe when I have the intiest bit of extra time, who knows?
Oh, I know the feeling.
Yeah. So how did I get to comics though? I've been writing on and off since high school, really since before, but that's when I really felt like I was actually not just writing because, school was like, hey, here's this assignment, go do this, So writing extra stuff for myself, primarily poetry, but also a lot of short stories.
Okay.
And I'm the type of person who, if I see something that I think I can do, I want to do it. And it's kind of a problem, actually.
Ooh, a vice.
Yeah. Oh. Well, there's something to be said for not taking on too much, not trying to do everything. And when it comes to actually creating physical things too, it's kind of costs a lot of money. So I got a lot of crafts. You can't see it in this blurred room behind me, but I have a lot of craft supplies.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh wait, I can make that? What? And then I really probably shouldn't.
So what kind of crafts are you doing? Using wood? What are we working with?
I've done a little bit of woodburning. I wouldn't say I'm great at it, but I can do a little bit. And I got cheap tools. I do not have the fancy
oh no.
There's no way. I mean, if it ever became something I was really into, maybe. But at this stage, nah. And the teensiest bit of woodworking, but very, 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 very little. I don't really have the tools for that. I've made jewelry, I've made nail polish. Oh. I made one perfume and it turned out okay. It was a little heavy on the citrus, but it was okay. Made some incense that didn't really burn well.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Ooh. Now I'm curious. So when you're making the perfume, do you have a lab? Or you you're just spritting and spurting?
Yeah, I have various just glass vials. They're not very big because I'm not making I'm just making small amounts. And then I have just a variety of different scents. And
okay. So dibble and dabble.
Dibble and dabble, yeah.
A little dibble and dabble. Okay, yeah. That's cool. That's cool. I'm not brave enough to do that. Just give me my old English leather. Let me just slab that here and move on my day. You don't want me mix and matching. It'll smell like a skunk up in here.
I still mostly use my purchased ones, but it was a fun thing to try.
Okay, but that's cool.
So all that brings us around to I never really thought about making a comic until I'd seen some people talking about it, and I saw a call for Russell Nolte's Cthulhu's Hard to Spell. Okay. This is the number 2. And I was like, well, I can kind of draw a little bit, but given my spare time and my skills, it would take me like a few years, and
Oof.
you know. So it's not really worth it for me unless I mean, it could be, but I don't got the time for it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't have the time for it. And I would have missed that submission opportunity, obviously, because that was happening. I had like, I don't know, a month or two to find an artist and submit a pitch. So if I was going to draw it, it wouldn't be in time.
Got it.
That's not happening.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was kind of my entry into, well, all right, maybe I should give this a try.
That's cool. All right. So, while coming up, were you into comics initially? Like when you were younger? Did you go to the comic shops? Like what kind of got you like at least interested? Like did you?
Right. High school I was reading middle school, high school, reading like mostly novels.
Okay.
End of high school, college, I read a lot of manga.
Okay.
So it wasn't until like late college I started reading American comics, and part of that is that whole thing like, where in the world do I start?
Yeah.
And then you got to go in and ask, and like, you know, there's a lot more female-friendly comic book stores now, but it's a little intimidating, you know, at that time going, you know, like, luckily, like, everyone was really friendly, so I didn't feel, you know, I felt that initial nervousness, but yeah, once I got in, it was like, okay, we're good. I can ask questions and not feel like I'm out of the circle.
Yeah, out of the element. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I think I did mostly start with the graphic novels, which makes it a little easier.
Okay.
And then I do have a couple of long boxes in my garage, but it hasn't grown in a while because it's not a cheap hobby.
Oh wow. Okay.
My indie comics are getting bigger though.
Good.
Yeah.
And that's what I love to hear.
Yeah.
That's what I love to hear. But excellent.
My DC comics has not grown in a while.
But that's cool though. I mean, like as I've told plenty of my guests before I got into the comic industry and producing and all this other blah blah blah, I was born a fan. I was born a fan. The moment I was able to read, there was a Batman comic in my hand. You know, it was my birthright. It was my birthright. But to see, I really appreciate your journey. I really appreciate how your journey is quite unique. Especially not growing up as a comic book fan, but still finding a way to navigate towards it using novels and things like that. And I understand where you're coming from when it comes to going into the comic shop culture. You feel like everybody there's an expert. Yeah, everybody's an expert. Well, but everybody started off as a novice. Every single one of them. But
it's kind of like, I'm sorry.
No, please.
It's kind of like that Big Bang episode where, you know, I can't remember who, but, you know, some people go in and they're trying to get into it and everybody's like, oh my gosh, you don't know what you know. So that's kind of like the fear, like, ooh, you know, is that going to be me?
Yeah. And the majority, I mean, I recall the Big Bang episode too. But most shows wouldn't be like that. But because it's, you know, it's fantastical, you know, it's a sitcom. But your fears initially, they have credence. Absolutely. It could be very intimidating to go into a world that you don't think you belong in as of just that yet. In that moment, you want to immerse yourself in it. But like you said, where do I start? Like there's billions and trillions of comics to try to catch up on. What are the essentials? You know, like how do I get that type of motivation? But I really do appreciate you sharing that aspect of your journey. That's because there's quite a few creators and especially lovely ladies that's out there that's trying to get into the industry and stuff like that have those type of thoughts and feelings in regards to it. But you're here to stand proud. Let the ladies know. Go on in there. Go on in there. Get a taste. But absolutely. So we went from the novels and you started getting into mangas and going into the comics. So when did we come up with a concept? I'm gonna just jump right into it for your baby here, FANGS&FOUL Play. So are you the head writer of this story? Yeah, and that's I figured you were. So where did this idea come from? Because I've checked it out. It's a very interesting and very unique little spin on the story. I'm not gonna give nothing away as of right now, but I would love you to break down, like, where'd you get this idea from?
So I don't remember like exactly when, but it was definitely sometime after that initial anthology. Might have been before it actually came out on Kickstarter, but after, we've been accepted and everything was done. And I've been thinking, after that, I've been thinking for a while. I had submitted to a couple other anthologies, submitted a couple comic shorts, and I kept having like these ideas for shorts and going, okay, well, if I want to do something, longer form, what is it? And I had a couple of other ideas, and I have one that's like kind of precious to me, but I'm like, oh wow, I am not ready for this.
Uh-oh, the brainchild.
Right? Yeah, where you're like, oh, I'm not ready for this. This is, got a lot more to go into it. So I'm like, that one's on the side until I can really like put the time and research and, grow a little bit, I think, in my journey to get to that. Not that FANGS isn't like also precious to me, but I didn't feel like it was going to be quite as complicated. So this other one is kind of like, I'm not a very like political person, and I'm like, this is going to have a lot of intricate politics. So I'm like,
okay.
Oh, I don't know much about that, so maybe I should wait, wait until I do some more research.
Wow.
So it was like, I don't know, 2, 3 a.m., something like that. One of those, after midnight things. And I just had this image of this cat. Like, it's kind of like the cover for issue 1. And he's just like, all these like dead people are like, around this cat. And I'm like, whoa, that's interesting. What the heck is that about? And so it just kind of blossomed from there. It took me a couple of months before I really, then from there, got more of the story in my head, and then sat down and started actually, scripting it.
I mean, but that's how it always works.
Yeah.
That's usually how it always works. It always comes in the middle of the night when I'm finally trying to get some sleep.
Yeah.
After playing Xbox for 6 consecutive hours, and now I'm trying to finally close my eyes. Like, wait a minute, brilliance! Where's my pencil? That's the way it always goes. But that's really cool. Yeah, but that's awesome. I've had a brainchild that I have tried to put to pencil that just wasn't ripe at the time when I was putting it down. It was a story called Pandemonium, and it was going to be about a dystopian future that's a totalitarianistic government that's pretty much running the world, in which children are ripped away from their parents, and then they're conditioned to be stormtroopers, more or less.
Yeah, okay.
But their first test of loyalty is to then hunt down their parent. And there'll be a particular character who uses one of these children actually has a deformity, more or less, but he can use 100% of his brain. So he can actually recall the love he had for his parents the day he was born. So when he is sent to go and do the deed, he feels the connection with his family, and then they try to build a revolution. And that was kind of like what it was going at. But when I started writing it a decade ago, I was like, okay, this is trash. I mean, like the concept is good. Like there's a lot of good elements here, but it's just, I didn't have the experience yet. I didn't have the wherewithal or the maturity to handle. Like it was so many things that went into it. But then I had which ended up being my greatest work of art was Trouble the Rhythm Within, which is my comic that I've been producing for years now. I love it, but I do want to go back and revisit my first love. I want to go back and revisit it, but I know. So Leanne, me and you, we like this. We like this. Yeah. So tell me, as I went through your comic, I love the cat. Now you don't have, please don't, no spoilers needed. Okay. But I love the cat. I love the mystery behind it. Even with it ending with a cliffhanger of sorts. As I peered through it, I definitely wanted to see more of what you guys were cooking up here. So are you going to make this into a series?
Yeah, we are working on issue 2 now.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. Yes, because I was intrigued, even though like it's simplistic in nature. But at the same time, there's intrigue. There's intrigue. There's mystery. I was like, hey, I like this. I like this, and it's easy to follow. Like even someone that isn't a seasoned comic reader, we're able to just pick this up and just enjoy. And I really liked that feel to it. That was well done. Well done, Leanne.
Thank you.
Well done.
It's good to hear because it's like there's not much mystery left for me. There's a couple things that I still have to figure out. Shush, don't tell anyone. but it's like I'm reading. I'm like I know everything. So I'm like and then it's when you're that close to it, it's hard to know sometimes.
Yeah.
What's translating to the reader.
Exactly. Well said, Leanne. Well said. And that's the hardest thing as a creative writer, because like you said, we already know what happens. We knew what happens the moment we had the idea, but how is it resonating with the audience? Mm-hmm. Are they seeing the vision that we have constructed in our minds? Like, is the art conveying the emotion that I wanted it to convey, or the fear, terror, whatever? But that's always the conundrum when it comes to writing, because it's funny you mentioned it, because like I just ended up releasing the 5th issue of my series, and I knew that it was gonna be I write what's episodically. Like you got the to be continued type bit thing. Mine is like separated in parts, but it's all one long story arc. And this 5th issue was a culmination of the 4, and I knew it was gonna hit home. And so like one of my favorite comic reviewers had checked it out, and I was so nervous. Like my hands were dripping sweat. like droplets were just straight coming off, because I was like, man, I hope that what I was building up to actually paid off. And she loved it. I was like, oh my stars. Like, thank you. Goodness gracious. Because like you said, yeah. And like, it's really tough. It's really tough to really hope that the message is being conveyed, or whatever the feelings you have are being conveyed. And that's really, really good. And I applaud you. I applaud you, Leanne, because that's the vibe I got, and I was definitely intrigued, and I'd definitely like to see more.
Yeah, I'm editing pages right now, so the goal is a late May Kickstarter.
Okay.
I have a date in mind, but I'm not like, it's not set in stone yet. So I'm not gonna put it out there just yet.
Yeah, no need to put it in stone just yet. Not until it is ripe and ready.
Things might change.
Yep. Yep. So other than Fangs and Foul Play, is there any other series that you're working on right now?
I'm working on a comic called The Orb Teller, and I'm supposed to be getting back most of that really soon.
Okay.
For the first issue. We were originally going to release it like now, but it wasn't quite ready, and I wasn't quite ready to do another Kickstarter like so soon after my first one.
Okay.
So it's like initially I was like, kind of sad about the decision, but like later I was like, no, I'm not ready. Like I need some time. And also kind of decided that we're going to do Fangs 2 first before I start another series on Kickstarter. So that way we got that kind of rolling a little bit, and then we can introduce something new, and then kind of do a little back and forth with those.
Nice. That's cool. I like that. And that keeps the audience hook, line, and sinker. I like that. Really good, really cool. I look forward to seeing all the other great work that you guys are cooking up over there. Bravo, Leanne and crew. Bravo. I really, really do appreciate what you're cooking. So where can we find all your work? Where can we get our hands on some of your stuff?
Yeah, well, I don't have the store open just yet, because I'm supposed to get the comics on Thursday.
Okay.
But they're still like almost on the other side of the country, so I'm like, I really hope so too, because I wanted to start shipping and packing this weekend.
Okay.
But as soon as I get those out, I'm gonna try to get that web store up. And so that website is headlessgnomes.com.
Okay.
And there'll be a shop link up there once that's all ready. I had to close the pre-order store a couple weeks ago. Yeah, maybe it was like a week ago. Because at some point I was like, all right, we gotta close it. We gotta get the process going. So yeah, next step is getting that web store open.
Okay, sweet. So whenever you get that web store open, you definitely drop me a link,
All right.
I will definitely add it to this magnifico interview that I'm sitting
Awesome.
here indulging with you right now. And I'll definitely put that in the description section below for folks to check out your stuff. That is tremendous. I can't wait.
Thank you.
Good,
Yeah, it's
good.
a whole process. You know,
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
set up all the back end.
Mm-hmm. That's the part that gets you.
Oh yeah, but you know, I figure once I got it down the first time, it'll be a little easier the next time.
Excellent.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. So where can folks find you on social media, Leanne?
At Headless Gnomes for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can also find me at INGINO, except for on Facebook, which is at INGINO author. So I post a teensy bit of like different content because I also write poetry, so see a little bit more variety, a little bit more of my, you know, personal writing. Whereas Headless Gnomes is all my like, okay, this is just comics and just. I am planning to release some more short stories this year. Plans to outline a novel this year. I don't think it's going to be done this year.
Okay. Hey, the grind never ends.
Yeah.
The grind never ends. But that's awesome. So I'll leave all your dope social media links in the description section below so everybody can follow you and check out all your wonderful stuff and all that other great stuff like that. I'm sure everyone will love you. Absolutely. So I would like to thank you once again, Leanne, for coming on the show. I'm so happy that you made the time. Thank you so very much for sharing all the great work that you have.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, the pleasure was all mine. Everybody, that is LK INGINO. I think I got it right. There.
Yeah.
Awesome. Follow her on all her social media platforms. And when that store is up, check out the great work that her and her crew are doing. They're doing fantastic things. This has been the Indie Corner, and you already know who I am. I'm Dre the Brute Daniels. Follow me on all my dope social media platforms as well. I'll put them right under my face. They're not there yet, but they will be there. At the Brute00 on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and if I feel like being wacky, on TikTok. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the vid. You all have been awesome, and I will catch you all next time. Also, if you want to support my channel, check out spinwiz.com or download the Spinwiz app and check out my comic series Trouble. It was written with a lot of love, and it was definitely my favorite comic series to write. I've also written it in English and in Spanish, so whatever floats your boat, I got it for you. Thanks again, and check it out.